It's time to talk turkey. Our holiday helplines are officially open. And first up to answer the call is celebrity chef, restaurateur Bobby Flay, one of my all-time favorites. Hey, Bobby. Happy early Thanksgiving to you.
Hi, Natalie. So glad to be here.
So good to see you. Love your kitchen there. And I see you've got the main ingredient today. You're talking about the turkey, the most important part, although some can argue the sides are more important. It depends if you're a turkey or a sides person. But how are you spending your Thanksgiving? How's it going to be different this year for you?
Well, it's definitely going to be different. I usually have about 30 to 50 people every single year. I always say it's my favorite day of the year. It's, as a chef, as somebody who cooks all the time, this is our Super Bowl, right? And I wake up hungry on Thanksgiving. This year, I'm going to have 3 people. And my dad, who's 89 years old, I'm not letting him come out of his house. So I'll be dropping off his Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow around noon. And then he can take care of himself from there.
Oh, well, that's really awesome that you're taking care of him, but also, you've got to be concerned about his health as well. And I'm glad he's doing well and you all are staying healthy. Yeah. All right. So you've got the turkey right there in front of you. And I think we've got so many viewer questions because, as you know, this is the part, although it should be simple, making a turkey should be simple. I think a lot of people struggle with getting it just right. And keeping it moist, I think, is the key. So one of our viewers asked, how do you get your turkey extra juicy?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the key to Thanksgiving. You want to start with a juicy turkey. I mean, there's a couple of different ways to do it. Clearly there's always the question of to brine or not to brine. I don't brine just because it's another step that you have to take, and you have to find a room in your refrigerator. Sometimes people put their turkeys in their bathtubs. I mean, it's like, space can be an issue on Thanksgiving. I don't find that brining is as helpful as other people do. So I don't brine. What I'm doing this year is I'm actually going to cook my turkey very slowly, about 325 degrees, as opposed to kind of blasting it at 400 or 450. And I put some chicken stock in the bottom of the pan. And as the chicken stock heats up while the turkey is roasting, it creates moisture and will help ensure that you have a moist turkey going through. Now, as you know, the breast cooks faster than the legs and the thigh, right? The white meat cooks faster than the dark meat. Mm-hmm. And so I think cooking your turkey nice and slowly will actually help, sort of balance out the cooking so that your turkey comes out, perfectly cooked in all the parts.
Yeah, and are you basting throughout or just using the drippings to just kind of keep it golden throughout?
Yeah, well, I mean, the turkey's going to get nice and brown while it's in there. I think it's a good idea to baste your turkey every, 20 or 30 minutes. Just take some of the drippings because remember, you put some chicken stock in there. The juices are going to drop down from the turkey. They're all going to become friends in the bottom of the pan, and that's flavor. And so if you just kind of baste the turkey with a brush or a turkey baster, you'll ensure a beautiful golden brown turkey. I'm not so sure how moist it keeps it because the skin is sort of protecting it from the from what you're basting it in. But I still think it's a good practice to keep on Thanksgiving for sure.
What about stuffing? Are you one of those to stuff or not to stuff? I think people always, you hear things, well, if you stuff, then maybe that stuffing may be exposed to salmonella if it's an uncooked turkey and obviously it cooks off. What is the theory on that?
Well, the theory that's definitely a possibility. But like for me, I always do things because I want them to taste better. So, I think the technical term is, stuffing in the bird, dressing outside the bird. And I always make dressing. And the most important reason why a couple of reasons. First of all, if you stuff the bird, it's going to take longer for it to cook. And it could cook unevenly, as you were sort of alluding to. If you make dressing on the side, you have way more control. And so this year I'm going to make a country bread. Actually, I'm going to use sourdough bread that I staled the day before. And I'm going to flavor it with some kale, some garlic, some vegetables, and some wild mushrooms. And what happens, Natalie, is as it bakes in the casserole dish in the oven, the top gets nice and crispy. So you get that great contrast of texture on your dressing. If you stuff the bird, you're not going to be able to get that. It's going to be it's just going to be, to me, it's just a little bit too wet, I mean, I want that good contrasted texture on the outside of the bird. So cooking it on the outside or as we call dressing is really the key, in my opinion.
Another viewer asks, what are the best seasonings to make turkey seem like a chef made it?
Well, I think you're being a little thoughtful before you start cooking in terms of, making a plan is really key. I always have some sort of theme for Thanksgiving. I mean, my Thanksgivings always look like Thanksgiving. So you're gonna see, a couple of big turkeys out. You're gonna see cranberries. You're gonna see the side dishes that you think of. There'll be sweet potatoes and mashed potatoes, etc., Brussels sprouts and all that. But this year, for instance, I'm gonna use Italian flavors. So in my turkey, I'm going to have things like rosemary and garlic and roasted lemons. So I get that sort of Northern Italian flavor in my turkey. One year, I cook a lot of Southwestern food. So I can flavor my turkey with things like red or green chilies and cilantro and things like that. So if you pick a theme and then pick sort of the most obvious flavors of that cuisine, you can really have a fantastic turkey. I mean, think about a New Orleans style turkey, that's, that has like New Orleans spices and things like that. I mean, turkey is a great canvas for lots of big flavors.
And an important question, I think, for us all, how do we know when it's done to perfection?
Well, you need a meat thermometer. I mean, that's really key. I mean, you want to make sure the breast is about 155, 165. And then the dark meat, you want it to be about 175. And a really important, you hear this all the time from cooks, and this is a really, really important thing when you're roasting a turkey. You have to let your turkey rest for like an hour after you take it out of the oven because it continues to cook, and also the juices cool down and they stay in the turkey when you cut into it. If you take your turkey out and you start cutting it, you're going to lose all those juices in the roasting pan or on the cutting board. So letting your turkey rest for an hour, keep that in mind while you're planning. If you want to eat at 5 o'clock, say, you have to get your turkey out of the oven probably by around 3 o'clock. Let it rest till 4 o'clock. And then that hour between 4 and 5 is going to go very quickly with all the things that you have to get, organized. And then you can slice your turkey and then it should be, perfectly cooked at that point.
Yeah, and that was actually one of the questions a viewer asked, that if my meal is done at 2, but I'm not serving until 6, how do we keep my food warm?
Okay, here is, to me, I'm really glad that question came in because to me, the most important ingredient for Thanksgiving is something that people don't think of. If I ask that question, you'd probably be like, oh, of course it's the turkey. Or is it sweet potatoes? Is it cranberries? All those things are incredibly important and they play a big role in the parade of Thanksgiving. But to me, the most important ingredient is chicken stock or chicken broth, hot chicken broth on your stove. And let me tell you why. We talked a lot about keeping your turkey moist, etc. Think about this. Now you're about to start thinking about serving your guests or your family, and the turkey is carved. The dressing is out of the oven. You have your gravy out as well, and it's starting to get cold, right? Because it is so much to do. I mean, it really is a huge undertaking. But if you have hot chicken stock on your stove and you have, like, for instance, your turkey sliced, if you just take a little bit of this chicken broth and put it right on top, what's going to happen? It's going to bring it back to temperature. It's going to be nice and hot, and also it's going to create some juiciness. And people are going to look at that turkey and be like, "Wow, he or she really, like, that's a beautiful turkey, and it has tons of juice running out of it." But chicken stock is really key. I also put it on top of my dressing on the way out as well. And also, like, if your gravy gets too thick, if you have the gravy there, it's the perfect texture. If it starts to sit on the stove, what's going to happen? It's going to start to thicken up. Put a little of your hot chicken broth in there, stir it up, and it brings it back to the exact texture that you want it. So having hot chicken broth or chicken stock on top of your stove, a good quality one, and there's good quality ones that you can buy out there if you don't want to make your own. To me, that is the key to a perfect Thanksgiving.
Fantastic advice. I'm going to take that chicken stock tip tomorrow. Bobby, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and give your father our love as well.
Thanks, Natalie. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bobby's going to help us because it's this time of year and a lot of people are trying to figure out how to carve their turkey. And every year we figure I don't feel like we ever do it right. So there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. Will you show us?
Right now?
Yeah,
Please,
why
sure.
not? Okay, let's see. This is the Bobby Flay carving method. I want to see.
You going over there, honey?
I just want to peek, just so I can watch.
Come on over.
Okay.
So basically, a lot of times, like somebody's uncle comes over and they don't do anything in the kitchen all year, but they carve the turkey. And they carve it very thinly sliced and all that. I don't like that. So what I do is I take the entire breast off. I just separate the leg from the breast and go straight down to the bone like this.
Lift it up.
And then you just take the entire breast right off.
Oh.
Okay,
One
just like
big
that.
hunk.
One big hunk.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then what you can do is you can get big slices of the turkey.
Yeah.
Nice thick slices.
Good.
Look at that.
Whoops. Just like that.
Okay.
Okay, that
that's
looks
what it
better
looks
than
like.
what I'm eating. Can I have some of that, please?
Yeah, you want some of
That
the fresh
looks
stuff.
so moist.
Now, here,
Yes.
I always say that the real key to Thanksgiving is chicken stock.
Okay, but how do you cut the legs? What happens now?
Oh, the legs? Well, then, okay. You want the legs too? All right.
Yeah,
I want to know how you do that
legs
part.
are
So you have
hard.
to take the
wrapping thing.
the rope off.
Uh-huh.
And then it just kind of.
Oh, you just pop it right
You
off.
just pop it right off.
Oh.
Exactly.
Look at that.
Just comes off. And that's how you know it's cooked as well.
Now, if it's red there, you just throw it in the microwave and just cook it a little bit more. What do you do?
All right.
No, I don't actually have a microwave, but you can put it back in the oven. But this is like
That's okay.
Yeah, it's not undercooked. It's the dark meat, so it's going to have a little bit of that color.
But Bobby, is it true that your turkey is still going to be cooking for a while, so you should let it set for a while?
It totally is. And so after you get it out of the oven, you want to with a thermometer, you want to get it to 155 in the breast, 165 in the leg, and then you let it rest for at least 30 minutes, up to an hour. It's going to continue to cook.
But you want it so badly.
No, but you can't eat it yet.
You can't eat it. What about your secret for the drippings?
Okay,
What's going on
so
there?
I always have some hot chicken stock on the stove for things like my stuffing and my turkey. And just before you serve it to your guests, you slice it and you reheat it this way. Just hot chicken broth, and it brings moisture to it as well. You can put a little butter in here too.
Wait, is that the stock from the turkey or something else that you just poured out of a thing?
It can be either one. It can
Don't you use it in your gravy?
Yes, but you want to make sure you have extra.
Okay.
Chicken stock is key. So buy more chicken broth than you think you need.
Okay, so buy the broth.
Delicious.
That was great.
This is good.